So, all right, so I'm gonna, JB, would you join that table right over there? Let's have two of you back there and one of you right here. So we're gonna have just a roundtable discussion now, and I want you to talk about two things for about a half hour. Number one, how can you and your clubs use some kind of evaluation tool, whether it's this one that I referred to or this one, to finish strong? Now, you know, when you look at this award system, it's there's two functions. Number one, celebrate success. Number two, are you a high-performing club, a mediocre club?
You got stuck with us.
Right here. And then the second thing I'd like to talk about, and it's related, is
Lost in the straw.
based on what you've heard this morning from Michael McQueen and from Jim Hogue, what are some things that you need to do in your club regarding membership? Whether it's attracting membership, whether it's retaining members, what are some things that you can do? What are some ideas that you can share with each other? Then we'll just go around and have each table kind of give us a report. So we'll do that now till about 1:30. So, should we start back here with your table?
Oh, sure. Ben, take it away.
Ben is our speaker.
Okay.
I was trying to get out of it, but these ladies are insistent. All right. So the first question is, how do you determine if you're relevant? And, you know, I think that's where you really just have to honestly, you know, step outside the box, look at yourself, you know, talk to each other, and just really determine, you know, are we relevant or are we not, you know? And kind of like what Michael McQueen was talking about, you know, how's our food? I mean, the Twin Falls Club here, Blue Lakes. I mean, they've left their location at Red Lion because they realized the food wasn't that good. I know at Burley, when I joined, I led the charge to lead to go to a more desirable place to eat every day or every week. So, you know, food matters, you know. If you're going to be taking time out of your day, you might as well have a good meal. And so looking at those things, looking at your fundraiser, it's kind of funny talking to Michelle here. Is when I first started, and when she first started, it was that road out, everyone was chasing that road out roulette dream. And really, everyone realized it became a nightmare. And it wasn't what we all thought it would be. And so how do you become relevant? So you start looking at changing your fundraiser so people are more excited about it, they're more engaged in Rotary, and that's an important thing. And so, you know, making those changes, just because something's always been a certain way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So sometimes you just have to do some changes there. Talked about, they got some great invitation business cards where join us for breakfast, 4-way tests on the back they give out to people. And we talked about when we go out in community events, you know, what a great time to find and meet people who really are wanting to be involved and engaged in certain things, and might as well let them try out Rotary, and how that's really been helpful. As far as increasing membership, kind of that's a perfect segue. You know, just go to where the people that want to be involved are, and whether you're meeting them through your business contacts, you know, just inviting them to come check things out. Like our clubs and their clubs, we talk about how we do offer free meals for members, and I always say, hey, come, you gotta eat lunch, might as well come check out Rotary and try us out. And how important it is to, you know, the greatest gift we can give to our communities is Rotary in the future, you know. And I was kind of telling him, knowing Aberdeen, I went to Aberdeen where there's like 6 members, and I told him that we need to increase membership, and the next quarter I came to visit him, and like, Ben, we've increased membership, we got 2 members, like we got one who's joined and one who's going to join, and I'm like, oh my gosh, excellent, going from 6 to 8, and then they're both like 80-year-old people, and I'm like, oh, but at least they got the vision that they do need to increase membership. They just went out to, I was hoping they would maybe get some younger people, but you know, we talked about those things, and they're at least thinking about it, realizing that is the greatest gift you can leave your community as a healthy and vital Rotary Club.
Let me interrupt you right there. The Aberdeen Club is my pet club. I love the Aberdeen Club. And I have a good, and it's 6 or 8 members, probably the average age is 72, 73. And they meet in the Senior Citizen Center. And not only do they meet in the Senior Citizen Center, they meet in a tiny, tiny room of the Senior Citizen Center. Very, very tiny room. And, you know, we have 3 or 4 clubs who meet across the district in the Senior Citizen Center. Nothing wrong with that. It's great food. It's kind of a good symbiotic relationship. But I have a good friend who owns a motorcycle shop right across from the Senior Citizen Center. So I was working on him, and I said, Terry, why don't you join Rotary? I mean, man, you're one of the leading people here in Aberdeen. He said, oh, I was. He said, my dad was one of those Paul fellow Harris guys. And I said, I know, I've seen his name in there, and you know, and he said, well, I'll join. And he's my age. I said, well, now's the time. He said, you know, when you know, I'm old and retired, I need to waddle over to the senior citizens like the other Rotarians do. I'll do that. And so I thought, wow, I wonder if they know that that's the perception that people have of Rotary in Aberdeen. That's a group of senior citizen men who waddle into. So anyway.
Yeah, it saves on the commute. You're already there. You just walk over to a different room for lunch. But anyway, but it's been neat though. They're at least getting, their eyes are opening to be relevant. They need to do some things because they could go extinct. They're endangered already, endangered species. We can't have our clubs be endangered species. The final thing, and then I'll stop talking, is I like this idea that Blue Lakes has with keeping their members engaged. They do that red badge, blue badge thing, where you kind of, it's like getting your scout merit badges. You have to get signed off and stuff. And what a great way. And Janet here is talking about how excited she is that she's going to get her blue badge finally. Only took her 8 years, but she's going to get her blue badge, and she's already telling him how she wants her name to show on the badge. This is important. It's a big deal to get that achievement, and I think that's a really great thing. It's got her engaged. Here she is, and I think that's a really neat thing. So anyway, being relevant and engaged, like I said, super important, and it makes clubs be great. So.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Good job. How about this table back here?
That's yes. Yeah.
We don't have quite as lengthy report as we did talk around this, and we kind of focused on the relevance idea, and Gene kind of complimented the Ketchum Club on our relevance with the duck race and the Rotary Park we have in Ketchum, and that makes us visible, which I appreciated. But in my eyes, I was kind of reflecting back to the internal relevance of the club with especially new members or what have you. And I've been sitting through this meeting today kind of thinking about that and how do we make our club relevant. And Terry was saying, well, when I came in, I said, you know, she was all charged up and ready to go, and well, we got this project, but it's heavy lifting, and you know, you're new, so you probably can't do that. And but the whole idea of the project thing, and we talked around the table a lot about that, about having not just the fundraisers in our communities to get money from people to give money away, but some kind of hands-on project that can engage the whole club and people can participate in and feel good about. I think was it you, Richard, was talking about planting trees around the baseball field or something a number of years ago. But there are things like that our clubs can, whether we're big or small or whatever, that we can do in our community that's visible, that is a hands-on thing that our membership can get engaged in and feel, you know, part of the team, part of the club. I mentioned that, and probably a lot of clubs here have adopt a highway thing where you pick up the highway twice a year, which is a nice thing to do, and our name's on the sign. It's pretty menial, you know, but it is some visibility. So I think meaningful projects in our communities, and I think that's what we talked about around the table, will kind of engage and energize our membership and make us more visible to the community and more relevant, therefore. So that's kind of what we talked about.
For the keeping the new members engaged, Blue Lakes Rotary, we have our mentors, and I don't know if everyone has that in their clubs or not, but we have a mentor when a new member comes in. And so we have just recently talked at our board meetings, about extending that mentor's job to on down the road a while till that member really does get engaged. Because we have a sponsor and we have a mentor, and that mentor's job is to help them get their blue badge and to also help educate them all the way down the line. I had the best mentor ever because I had Mary Ann. I was her first mentee. Victim. And it was great because I got to learn things that I don't think that I would have learned otherwise. And so that is something we do. And then the other thing is, on our new members, what are they saying? No, not what are we thinking about what they are saying. What are they saying? We need to listen, use their ideas. Let's not be one of those clubs that says, as you said before, that's what we've always done. Well, and that's what we always get. We also talked about, well, this is some of the things from today, and instead of, let's do something together instead of just throwing a check at it. And then the other thing was, and I talked to Bob before he left. Some people left, as you've said, we've been given the reasons why they left, okay? The recession, the housing market, and all of that. Let's get their names and invite them to an alumni dinner and see if we can't get them back on board.
That's a really good idea.
And you thought I was just a pretty face.
The youth that you support in all of your youth programs, make them honorary members of the club. So when you have a special dinner or a special service project, they'd love to come help you. And, service projects, the more I've said, the more confused I've got, because we bumped into clubs that have a lot of service projects, a lot of small service projects that are just very dear to their hearts. Like my club cleans the freeway. I'm not sure I could recruit people to join Rotary so we can clean the freeway. Does it need to be cleaned? Yeah? But is that, I say, are you having a bake sale or are you carrying portfolio in your community? What are you doing? People won't join Rotary to be part of a bake sale. They'll join Rotary because you're changing the world. And so, service projects, I think we need to look at those. And one of the things we're learning from Rotary International is that one of the best ways to recruit members is by relevant service projects. You don't have to be a Rotarian to do our service projects. So find out what kind of members you're missing, what demographic you're missing, and come up with a service project that the whole community can buy in on that. Rotarians have this idea that it's a service project, by heck we have to do it. Not so. Let's Rotarians be the brains and the organizer of it, and let's bring in the whole community to do it. And that is a great way to teach them about Rotary. So. There's a question over here. Okay, this table right here.
Really exciting.
I came in late. I was visiting.
Okay.
She did.
But they had a great discussion.
Oh, she's like so full of wine. I think you're a spokesperson.
No, I didn't get her.
Daphne, are you the spokesperson?
She even took notes.
She wrote notes. She took notes.
This will be a collaborative report. I think we focused a lot on number one, how do we determine we're relevant? And so we started off talking about doing some sort of exit polling maybe, or survey or interview, trying to find out why previous members might have left, what are the reasons, and try to reach out to them that way. Make sure that you're having honest conversations with people about what Rotary is. And so we had a discussion about, I don't think we settled it, but is it good to have a more extensive process before they become a Rotarian in terms of orientation, or should they just kind of, do you keep it brief and do you dive right in? So we had that discussion. I don't think we settled it though.
No, we don't.
Okay. I think we sort of had a very lengthy discussion about reaching different groups, people groups in Idaho, and then also the commitment of Rotary and how that might affect whether or not you're able to attract or retain memberships. So,
Nice job.
oh my God. But 2 and 3 we didn't get to.
Great. Well, I think we're in for exciting times. As Jim talked about the cadre, we'll look at different membership models. Towns like Twin Falls, Pocatello, Boise, there's various Rotary clubs, and each club has a very distinct personality. And so you can kind of shop around and see which one fits you. In towns like Burley or Jerome or Rupert, Preston, you got one club, and that's it. So how do you come up with creative ideas for that one club to serve everybody? And maybe to what you're talking about is a satellite club or affiliated club, or even a Rotaract club kind of a thing that's affiliated with the main club. I don't know. I think we're going to have to really think beyond the box on those things. So finish strong means giving it your best shot now for the rest of the year. Giving everything.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So is there a model of one of these affiliate clubs that have been around the country that maybe they all spoke Spanish, or they were all of a certain,
Oh, it's a great question. Is there a certain demographic?
like a model, yeah,
Affiliate-
that has been used to target demographics that may not come to other clubs?
Wow.
I don't know the answer. It's mostly Denver, so it's where this started. But I think most of them have been evening clubs, so they've been more of the
It's based on time.
time. Yeah,
Cost.
they look more like Rotary clubs, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're younger in general. But I think, what it has been is folks who, the time works. Going to lunch doesn't always work. Or location. The location, yeah.
Or
And so
cost.
there's some flexibility there. But I seem to have this thing that there is a Hispanic club, a Spanish-speaking club. in
Wouldn't that be
Denver.
cool in Idaho?
But I may be wrong.
You know, look at Magic Valley, what a great population of Hispanics we have here. And we've talked about that, the answer is, well, they can't afford Rotary. You know, that's what we hear, but maybe, Gene?
Well, this affiliate thing really sounds important to me because evening clubs in this district are big. And the reason that they're big is that there are 61 members. I added them up here, 61 members in the district. That's 3.3% of the district that probably we would not have if we didn't have evening meetings with no meals necessarily and so forth. And I think this affiliate thing can just take that another step forward. And that's going to be the way that we survive, I think.
Great idea.
You know, Buell started a satellite club that met in the evening once a month a couple of years ago. Now, I don't know what its status is today. Nancy, do you have any knowledge of that?
Nope.
I think they kind of struggled. I mean, they had just a few members, but they were at least trying it, to try to reach some people who basically couldn't come to a meeting at noon.
It's a great model.
Now, you know, in Twin Falls, what's nice about Twin is that we have the options.
Yep.
So for if money is an issue, then, you know, when in my club, in the Blue Lakes Club, when we're recruiting, and if money is an issue for a member, we'll direct them to the evening club. Here's an option for you
Right.
that doesn't cost as much.
Right.
And I'm sure Twin Falls does that as well. That when we have an evening club here already, having a satellite club that would be competition for them, I'm not sure that that's the best idea.
Yeah.
We're better off trying to recruit and help that club grow
Yeah.
than try to get a little satellite club of our own or Twin Falls of their own.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on that. But in a town where you're the only club, satellite's probably the way to do it, because it's probably not a big enough town to have two clubs.
Carrie, do you have a comment?
I'm just thinking what might slow everybody down in this whole process. It seems like such a great idea, but there are some pioneers from each of these clubs that are gonna have to be brave enough to be in that evening club, or be in that satellite club, to keep it going and get it started. That's probably where it needs to start, is a couple of people willing to try that. But that's gonna slow everybody down, because everybody will be paralyzed saying, well, I think that's a great idea, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But
Yeah, those affiliate clubs, satellite clubs, even starting a new club requires a lot of care and feeding. It's not an easy thing. You just don't say, let's start a new club. This document here, I want to point out, make sure you take one with you. It actually has a resigning Rotarian questionnaire. Now, I don't think for a minute that very many Rotarians are going to say why they're actually leaving. You know, some will say, well, I got a job, or, you know, I retired. I don't think they're going to say, well, I didn't feel relevant, but maybe they will. So, finish strong, celebrate success, pass the baton. Well, we're going to pass the baton right now.